Hello and welcome to Never Miss a Monday. I am your host, Stacey Garcia. I could not be more excited to introduce our very special guest today, someone I believe truly embodies the Never Miss a Monday spirit. Her name is Amanda Kloots. And an Ohio native, Amanda brings her infectious and inspirational attitude to everything that she does. A former Broadway dancer and Radio City Rockette, Amanda performed on a variety of stage, film, and TV productions for over 17 years. Amanda is an Emmy Award nominated talk show host from CBS daytime talk show, The Talk. Amanda was also the moderator for Netflix show Live from the Other Side with Tyler Henry. Amanda is the founder of Proper, a superfood supplement company now available at Target. Her first memoir, co written with her sister, was released in June of 2021 and debuted on the New York Times bestseller list. Amanda executively produced and starred in the CBS holiday movie Fit for Christmas in December of 2022. Her first children's book, Tell Me Your Dreams, was released in April of 2023. She is also the creator of her fitness brand, Amanda Kloots Fitness, in which, through her app and teaching classes all over the world, helps motivate people to move their bodies. Amanda currently resides in Los Angeles with her son, Elvis. Amanda, welcome to the show. So happy to have you.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. I'd love to kind of talk about how you were introduced into my life really briefly. And we have some really interesting people in common, actually. So, the first one you know of is my good friend, Elise Cohen. And I know that you've known her for a little while. And I believe you took classes from her at Equinox. Is that right? Is that how you know Elise?
Yes, I took our dance class.
That's amazing. Yeah, she's such an amazing friend, and I'm so thankful for the connection. But in 2020, along with lots of other people around the world, my sister actually said, "You need to follow this account. Her name is Amanda Kloots. She's so inspirational, and what she really loved from your content was your musical mornings."
Oh.
She got so much out of your musical mornings and your inspiration, and that's when I started following you, and I had a friend that was battling COVID around the same time as your husband, actually, and, I found out later on after, he thankfully had recovered. Does Greg Garfield and AJ Johnson ring a bell to you?
Of course, yeah, they're good friends. Yeah.
Yeah. So, my husband Joe and I used to train Greg, back in the day, and then I think the first year, of his actual recovery, Joe would go to his house and train him as well. So they're such dear friends, and I actually reread your book recently, and, I read it in 2021 when it came out, and then I read it again, and it definitely felt different reading it a second time 4 years later. But one thing that really stuck out was you referenced Dr. John a lot, and I don't think I knew it at the time when Greg and AJ shared that how they met you, but I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and my daughter was diagnosed with a very rare condition called Wyburn-Mason within, like, a week of each other. We both got, like, hit really hard last year, and Greg was like, "You need to call Dr. John." And so Dr. John definitely became someone in my life for quite some time, and so that was kind of an interesting. I totally forgot about that when I
Yeah.
reread it. And
Yeah,
the
Dr.
last
John was my
yeah.
saving grace. He was such an amazing help to me, and, gosh, when I finally got to meet him, I was like, "Oh my
I was
god."
gonna ask, did you ever get to meet him in person?
Yeah, we did, yes, finally. It was so lovely to meet him.
Yeah, that's amazing that you had him. He really knows so much about medicine and has such great resources, and he's just someone amazing to count on. And then I learned so your friend Rachel, I used to dance with
Oh my
many,
gosh.
many moons ago. We trained
Wow.
in the same studio under the same teacher, and we were in a show together at the Roxy, a long, long time ago.
Oh my gosh, crazy. Yeah, so
Yeah.
many connections.
So many fun connections. So I just wanted to share that with you, which I thought was so
Mhm.
fun. So you've built your life around movement, joy, and perseverance. What does never miss a Monday mean to you in this season of your life?
Oh gosh. It's a good question. In this season of my life, I guess I just try to make the most of every day. I mean, I think, we're just coming out of summer and
Mhm,
going, back into fall. And I've been really treasuring my summers with Elvis,
mhm,
as he's been young. And in this year, we did another like big travel this summer. And I think that's what it would mean to me in this season is just kind of like take the chances that you have at the time that you
mhm,
have them and just go and just do it because I'm like the times that we travel together like that every summer we do it. It's so healing for me and it's such a wonderful remembrance of like what's important and what I need to focus on and yeah, so that's what I would say.
saying yes to the trips, living in the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's
love saying yes to
amazing.
trips.
Are you guys back to school already? Or are you still
He
on summer?
is,
Oh,
gosh, yeah, he's, like, on week 2 already, it's crazy.
yeah, we were week 3 and then, of course, illness, so it's like back to school, back to home, I feel like, and now they're back to school.
Hilarious,
So I
okay,
feel you
yeah.
in that. Well, you've lived so many lives, in one
Mhm,
lifetime so far. Broadway, the talk, fitness entrepreneur, author, mom, and most recently, supplement founder and creator.
yeah.
When you think about all of those titles, which one grounds you the most and why?
Uh, I would say the one that grounds me the most is probably being a mom, just again for that reason of, like, really connecting in with what's important in
Mhm,
life. Like, last night we got into bed and I was just cuddling with him and holding him, and we had spent the whole day together, which is so lovely because during the week he has school, and then
mhm,
his Manny comes, and sometimes I'm like, gosh, I only see him like a couple hours at night, and
mhm,
that's it. So on weekends when I like get to spend the whole day with him, I just like hugged him so hard, and I was just like, that was the
mhm,
best day. I love spending the whole day with you, and so I think that definitely
mhm.
that is my job that grounds me the most. Yeah.
I would agree with that too. I think motherhood grounds me the most as well. I actually had a moment with my son over the weekend too that was really beautiful. My son suffers from anxiety sometimes, and I think I'm realizing more and more that I definitely have anxiety at points. And he was going through something, and I'm like, Hayden, I'm so sorry. I feel guilty that I've kind of passed this on to you. And he's like, maybe you did, mommy, but you also passed on all of your love. And I was like, okay. Thank you for grounding me and bringing me, like, right back to that moment. I needed to hear that. God bless children, and especially boys. I think there's something special with boys and how they speak
Uh-huh.
to their mommies, and it just, like,
Uh-huh.
definitely put me right into that. So your book, and we'll talk briefly about your book, Live Your
Yeah,
Life.
thank you.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's
Thank you.
beautiful both times that I read it. It's not just a memoir. It's a love letter, and I don't believe it's only a love letter to your husband. It's a love letter to yourself. It's a love letter to your sister and your brother and your family. It's a grief diary, and it's a reminder to keep going and keep moving. And
Thank
as
you.
I told you, I just finished rereading it, and it hit so much differently this time around. What was the most healing part of writing it for you?
Well, I think just actually like putting everything down on a piece of paper that was in my head. There was so much information that I was absorbing every single day as anyone that has gone through anything similar to this. Like you get diagnosed with something like Nick did, and then, everything keeps going wrong. You're like learning on the fly, all these medical terms. And, I thought when I was done, at the hospital, I was like, I could become a nurse. Like I knew
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't, but but you know what I mean? You've learned so much
You
so
became an
quickly.
expert.
Yeah, and so I think, just taking all of that and writing it down and writing down our life and our relationship and getting it out in those early days of grief. I would put Elvis to bed and then I would go sit in my little kitchen foyer area and I would just write and I would sob. And so there were sometimes like I couldn't even see my computer. I was crying so hard. But I think, in retrospect, it really did help me to heal. And the great part about that book is it's funny, I just reread it too for some reason. I think my mom periodically rereads it. And so then she'll
Mm,
say something to me and I'll be like, I should
mm.
reread it. Like I know it's slitting my own wrist, but I reread it and it was so nice to read because I just had forgotten already like little things about Nick and I that I was
Mm.
like, oh gosh, I really love listening to that again. I forgot about that story or I forgot about that funny thing he did or I forgot about it's life keeps going and so you forget about things and it's crazy, but you do. And so that book is like continually healing for me. And
Mm.
I'm so grateful also that Elvis will get to read it one day because I could never recount that story now like I did then. And I
Yeah.
definitely won't be by the time he's gonna read it. I mean, it would be like piecemealing it together. I would forget so many things. And the fact that he can pick that up and read it and then come to me with questions, it's just gonna be so wonderful for him to really learn about his dad. So yeah, it's so many things. That book is so many things.
You wrote it, correct me if I'm wrong, not long after he passed, you
I
started.
started it 2 weeks after.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, which blows me away, honestly, because, as you know, obviously all the different stages of grief, I didn't feel reading it anger. Like and it was, I think that's one of the reasons, honestly, why people gravitated to your book so beautifully is you do show all of the different stages, but you weren't stuck in one while you were writing it. You were very open
No.
with it.
Yeah, the stages of grief, I never really followed them, how linear they are in like a diagram. I remember not feeling anger until like a year and a half later, to be
Wow.
honest. Yeah, so and I clearly remember like counting that, like I'm just angry now. Like
Mhm.
so I mean, that's why I think grief is just so different from everyone and all these tools out there are so helpful and it's good to have them all and it's good to, do as much as you possibly can to help yourself, but
Right.
in my opinion, just know that everyone's journey is so different and,
Yeah.
just because it says week 1 you're going to be angry and if you're not angry, that's
Mhm.
okay too, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But just like you said, writing this book not only was healing for you, but it's going to be so healing for your son.
Yeah.
And I know that you've written letters to your son, and I want to talk about your sister for a second because there was a part in the book that I forgot about, and I was like drenched.
It still
When
makes me cry too.
you know exactly what I'm gonna say, the Mother's
Oh
Day
yeah.
part, I
Yeah.
was like I was done. I was so done after reading that, and it was so beautiful, and your relationship with your sister reminds me a lot of my relationship with my sister and how my sister doesn't have children yet, and she sees me as the mother figure, and we talked about it. She took me to my surgical appointment the day after I was diagnosed, and so I was diagnosed with breast cancer. The next day, I was given my options, and I was clear as
Mhm.
day as what I wanted to do. I wanted a double mastectomy, and she saw me as a mother picking life for my children. And so your sister sees you as this mother figure, wrote this beautiful letter to Elvis of just everything she saw in you. And it was like, oh, it just was so beautiful. So getting back to your sister Anna, and you guys co-wrote this book together, which I think is such a beautiful thing, while navigating deep personal loss. And she had recently gone through, personal loss with herself as well. How did that collaboration help you carry the weight of grief?
Well, Anna, was with me for most of that journey. So she just knows me so well. My brothers and sisters and I are all very, very
Mhm,
close. There's not one that is closer to another. But Anna and I are very close and can like finish each other's sentences. We often call ourselves our mom and dad. We
mhm,
have like I'm my dad, she's my mom. And so, I think having her there, and then she went back to Paris. And so then when I started writing this, I was in LA and she was in Paris. And she was grieving too. She
yeah,
was really close to Nick, the closest out of my family. She spent the most time with him. And she really loved Nick a lot. Like he was like a brother to her. And Nick loved Anna so
mhm,
much and really believed in Anna. And so she was grieving and having, a hard time being alone in Paris grieving. And I was, doing everything here grieving. And so the fact that we were able to team up and write that together and really kind of like I think we both went through a process of wow, like how amazing it is to be able to write down your grief like and then read it back to yourself. It's like such a crazy process, and I wasn't a writer, Anna was. I had never written anything. I wasn't even like a journal girl. I never kept a diary. Anna has journals from like,
mhm,
6th grade on. So it was my first time kind of putting anything down on
mhm,
paper. And so she and I just we had a great working relationship because she speaks me,
mhm,
and she's an amazing writer. So I would send her paragraphs or an idea or where I think that a chapter could go, and then she would sort of format it, or she would redo my paragraph, and I'd be like, "Wow,
mhm.
that sounds so much better now." um but we really teamed up really great together, and then it was beautiful because we finished it together. She was in LA for Thanksgiving till Christmas, and our deadline was like the week before Christmas to finish this book. They only gave us 6 months to write this book, and that was crazy because most editors will give like at least a year, sometimes 2. And so it was Thanksgiving into Christmas, and we were finishing the book, and every night we'd put Elvis down, and then we would open a bottle of wine and we would just start writing. And yeah, it was just honestly like some of the most beautiful like remembrances of like my sister and I. Like even though it was like terrible because it would be sobbing, but then laughing, because it would spawn a memory about Nick, and then crying again, and then more wine, and then, so, I don't know, I just think I truly believe grief is meant to be lived out and lived through, and it's really the only way I've learned how to process it. So, yeah, just really helped me a lot to be able to have her on my side, and she's just such an incredible writer. She's so talented, and I'm so lucky to have her write with me.
Yeah, what a gift that was, really.
Yeah.
What I believe one of the most beautiful parts of Live Your Life is the way it holds space for both heartbreak and for hope.
Mhm.
What do you want readers to walk away remembering, especially those in the middle of their own hard chapter?
I think what I always used to say this, that if the movie was ever made of that book,
Mm,
I would want people to walk out of the theater and go, I gotta call my sister.
mm,
It's been 2 years. I don't know why we're fighting. Or I'm gonna call my mom and dad tomorrow. In fact, I'm gonna make it a point to call them 3 times a week. Why aren't we playing softball as a family like we did during COVID? Every night we'd go out in the yard and play softball. That was
mm,
so fun. We gotta start our softball games again. That's what I always wanted, like, people to leave the theater saying. I didn't want them to be sad. I didn't want them to be crying. I wanted them to remember how important family is and how
Mm,
important friends and community are, because that's what saved me during that time of my life.
yeah,
God, faith, family, community, and friends.
that's amazing. So, Amanda, like me, movement has been therapy. It seems like it's been your outlet and your calling. Can you talk about how AK Fitness was born out of your personal healing journey?
Yeah, so I was going through a divorce, and I was 32 years old at the time, and I thought my life was over, of course.
Mm,
I'd been married for 7 years, and I never thought I would be getting a divorce. I just didn't ever think that that was something in my future.
mhm.
And at the time, I was teaching at this awesome studio in New York City called Body by Simone,
Oh,
and I loved it. But I was teaching 6 hours a day, and I was my Broadway show that I was in closed. And so I was kind of at a point in my life where I didn't have any control over anything, because Broadway is so up and down, and the show I was in was supposed to be the next big hit,
mm,
and we all thought we would have jobs on Broadway for 3 years, and I thought I was going to have a family and all of this stuff, and then that all came crashing down. And so I just felt like I need to take control of my life. And at that time, I had thought of this idea of a jump rope class,
mm,
and I knew from teaching fitness that there was nothing in New York like it. And so I just decided to take a big leap, and I just decided I'm going to start Amanda Kloots Fitness and become a female entrepreneur and try to start my own
mm,
business and launch it with this jump rope class, and kind of take control of my life and see how it goes. And luckily it paid off. I will say, when I was going through my divorce, and it was so painful and so sad, and I would walked into Body by Simone crying on
mm,
the phone with my mom, who was just amazing at helping me get through my divorce. And I would, hang up the phone, and I'd wipe my eyes. I'd walk into the studio, and I'd turn on music super loud, and I would teach a class full of
mm,
30 women. And I would teach another class right after that. And I would leave that studio having walked in so sad, so depressed, so hopeless, full
yeah,
of tears. And I would leave there energized, motivated, happy, and smiling. And it was all because I moved my body. It was all because I took my head out of the game. I was listening to music, and I was teaching people how to enjoy fitness. And so I knew that it was sort of the right move for me, because I enjoyed it so much. I really loved it, and I really believed in the idea I had. So I was
mm.
just like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to see how it goes.
And no turning back. You're still
No
doing
turning
it.
back. Yeah, still doing it. I still love teaching, and I'm so glad. My life changed so much after COVID. When we moved here, I was solely doing my fitness company. That was it. But Elvis was 3 months old, so I was like, just getting back into it.
Mhm.
And was a new mom with a newborn. I really didn't have a lot of time to put into building my fitness company here in Los Angeles, because we had just moved here from New York. New York, I could teach and 60
Right.
women would show up. But
Yeah.
you move to a new city, and as much as you think everyone's going to care, they don't. And so I had no one in my classes. It was my sole job, and I had a 3-month old, and my life and my mind was, I was breastfeeding. I had to take care of Elvis. And Nick was also working, so I couldn't spend 6 hours at a studio teaching. So it was a huge, huge transition. And then when COVID hit, I kept, online teaching. And then after COVID, became a talk show host. But I never stopped teaching fitness. And I'm
Mhm.
so glad I didn't. Even when I was so busy filming that movie and writing the book and doing a talk
Mhm.
show, I taught every Saturday, and it was just my outlet, and it made me feel so great. And I love that. I love teaching live classes, connecting with people, building that community. I love fitness, and I love a fitness group class. Like it's just I took one today. Like I love
Mm,
it.
there's nothing like it. Have you heard of The Class that originated in
Yes.
New
Oh
York
yeah.
and now is in LA? I went
Mhm.
for my first time. JC Gossett, who's the founding teacher, she was on the podcast a
Mhm.
couple seasons ago. So I took from her, and it was my first time back in a live class since my husband and I closed our gym a little over a year ago. So I
Okay.
went from dancing to personal training for 15 years, and I had to keep the dance with me, so I taught, like, ballet bar classes and all of that, and when we closed and we went straight to Zoom as well in 2020, and so I've continued training people on Zoom, and I love it, and it grounds me, and it's amazing, but you're right, to be in a live class, and that was my first live class in over a year, and I was like, "Why don't I do this more?" There's something
Yeah.
about everyone's energy, so that's something I have to remind myself that
Yeah.
I need to step out of the Zoom zone and going on my, like, hikes to getting back into class for sure. I love it.
Yeah. I know. I love taking class. Like people probably find it funny. They're like, "You own a fitness company and you go take all these classes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I can train myself,
Mhm.
obviously, and I do a lot, but I also love going somewhere and getting told what to do." Like,
Absolutely.
and not having to be the teacher. Like it's so nice to be the student. And I think it
Mhm.
makes me a better teacher going to fitness classes because you're putting yourself in your patient, in your customer shoes, you know what I
Right,
mean? You're
right.
seeing what works, what doesn't, like, oh, if I'm up there talking, nobody can hear me, like, unless I wear a mic, like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like these classes that have this loud music and then the teacher's screaming and you're like, nobody can hear, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. There's something magical to all of it. I love it so
Yeah.
much. Well, let's talk a little bit about proper health, which I
Yeah.
got a chance to try, and I am super impressed. I'm gonna just
Oh,
gonna
thank you.
say your calming aid at night is like a warm hug. That's
Oh,
what it feels like to me, like, before
thank
bed. I just love
you.
it so much. But it feels more of a product line. It feels more like an extension of your energy and your story. How do you want people to feel when they start and end their day with it?
Oh, well, just I think motivated and happy. I think, I've had and tried and influenced so many supplements over the years. I am, a sucker for all of the Instagram ads and, literally try them all. And I think what I hate about them is you get it and you try it for a week or something, and then you're like, oh God, I can't take 4 pills right now. Like, I just
Mhm,
don't want to take 4 pills. Or you can't stand the taste of something anymore. And you just sit and you watch it go to waste. You're $150 down the drain every time.
mhm,
And I have it at my I'm a victim of it.
mhm.
So I really wanted to create something that didn't make a woman or a man feel guilty about taking or not taking in your day.
Mm,
There's times where I'll walk by my supplement
mhm.
graveyard and I'm like, oh, I know I should take that, but I just don't
Yes.
want to. And like, that's not the point, right? Like, the point
Mhm,
is to want to take it or to feel good. I don't want anybody to feel guilty about
mm,
not doing their supplement powder for that day. So I designed something that was very
mhm,
affordable, accessible, tasted good, and it's for you to take when you need it. So, like, if you're having a week where you just can't eat healthy or you're traveling or something, then bring your daily greens and have your scoop of daily greens and feel good that, well, I got my greens in today. Or if you're feeling a little
mhm,
sick, take the immunity. If your digestion is
mhm,
off because it's almost this time of month and you're feeling a little bit bloated, that's when the pinks come in. Like, or the calm at night, or I take it sometimes in the middle of the afternoon because it's just like I need to like reset for the evening. Like, it's all meant to be taken when you need it. It's not something that, you need to feel like, "Oh god,
mhm,
I don't wanna take my greens there it is." Then don't take your greens that day. You know what I
mhm.
mean? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's yeah.
That's great. Yeah, it's real life, and you're so it's so true about the non guilt because everything that you have is not something you need to take. It's you take it when you want it, when you need it. So I think that's
Yeah.
brilliant and really accessible. And you can get it Amazon, Target, and on your website as well, right?
Yes,
Amazing.
and I'm very proud there's 30 scoops in, the each container,
Mhm.
it's less than $1 a day, and it was something I was really, really, like, adamant about because I just wanted to make it affordable for everyone. I live in Los Angeles, but I used to live in New York City.
Mhm.
These supplements are, you know, so understandable for us, you know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right.
I'm on peptides, I'm on infusions, I do all the crazy stuff. But
Mhm.
mm, uh, myself and Ben Bennett, who is my co-founder in this, or
Mhm.
the co-creator in this
Mhm.
brand, he's also from Ohio, and
Mhm.
he always has this idea of like, I wanted to create things for Linda in Ohio. And I'm from Ohio. And I was like, yes, like I want Linda in Ohio to be able to
Mhm.
go to Target and be able to afford to buy this. I don't want her to look at it and go, I wish I could have that, but I can't afford it. So it's for everybody. Yeah.
Where in Ohio are you from?
Canton, Ohio.
Is that close to Youngstown?
It's not far, it's like an hour and a half,
That's where my,
hour and
family is.
15.
My mom's side, my grandparents were from Ohio, from
Oh,
Youngstown, and
nice.
they came out to California on their honeymoon and never moved back.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
But
I
I
mean,
haven't been, so I would definitely love to go one day for sure. I
I
just
love it. I love it in the summer. I was just in Ohio visiting my mom and dad. It's so
mm,
beautiful in the summer.
good to know. I love it. So for the listeners right now that are struggling with energy, with purpose, or with their routine, what's one small AK habit they can start tomorrow?
Um, it's one small AK habit they can start tomorrow. The free one that I'll say is do what I do and start your day with a positive thought. I mean, there's nothing better than waking up and trying to find something positive to start your day off. And I've been doing that now for like 7, 8 years.
Wow.
And sometimes
Mm.
I post them every day. So if nothing else, listeners, follow me and you can go to my stories and you'll see one. But it's just a great way. It's free and it reminds you to stay positive, and sometimes you have to remind yourself to stay positive. Like, I am a happy person, I'm a positive person, but I remind myself on a daily, sometimes minute basis, to
Mhm.
stay positive and just be grateful and to remember what I'm grateful for and
Mhm.
happy. It's hard some days, harder than others.
Mhm. Absolutely. That's a perfect tip. Well, let's talk about motherhood and how much
Mm.
that grounds us. Motherhood, I'm sure, brought a whole new dimension to your life. What are some ways your son Elvis helps keep you grounded, present, and always smiling?
I feel like my patience
Mhm.
level when I became a mom just went to a limit that I didn't even know that I have. Um, I love it. It really calmed me down, I think, and it really made me realize like how to be patient with somebody else, especially in all the different eras of his life so
Mhm.
far, not getting frustrated at little things and really like taking a moment, taking a breath, calming
Mhm.
down. We have a thing called eye contact that really just kind of
Mhm.
helps us settle in with each other. Um, yeah, I think the patience that I've learned in being a mom has just really helped me
Mhm.
ground myself and
Mhm.
be able to enjoy every day. Because,
Absolutely.
it's hard. Sometimes you want
Yeah.
to scream, pull your
Yeah.
hair out.
Yeah. Sometimes I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
In your most exhausted moments,
Hmm.
mentally or physically, what do you tell yourself to keep showing up to never miss a Monday?
Mm. What do I tell myself? I mean, I probably will like say my
Mm,
gratefuls. I'm sure I mean, I sometimes say them out loud or write them down, but on exhausted moments,
mm,
I say out loud like, Amanda, you have a home, you
mm.
have a beautiful family, you have your health, you have a beautiful son, you have a job, like everything is, I just go down the list. Yeah, that's
I
what I
do the
do.
same exact thing.
Yeah.
That's how I try to end my days every night too, is that
Yeah.
how has grief reshaped your understanding of legacy? And how does that show up in how you parent Elvis and how you live?
Yeah, I think death really changed how I see legacy because it came so early for Nick. And luckily, he died this famous rock star where everybody was singing his
Mm.
song. I mean, like, knowing him, that's like, I feel like that's how he'd want to go out. Like, everyone's singing my song every day, like, and dancing around to it. Like, that, I feel like he'd be like, "I'm good. I could go." Um, so I think, in doing that and that whole movement kind of did help me like reframe, yeah, like when you die, what you're known for and what you've done on this planet. And Nick was such an amazing friend and son and brother that I remember my brother saying to me that, like, he was so amazed at how many people came out of the woodworks for Nick that, like, had met him once or had met him many years, so I say all that because it did help me think about, like, oh yeah, like, we all are going to be remembered somehow, so, like, we want to try, think about that, you know what I mean, like, think about how you want to be remembered. um yeah, it's definitely, it definitely showed me, like, the importance of being a good person and doing as much as you can in the right ways, to be remembered the right way. Legacy, it's crazy, but
Yeah.
it's really beautiful to share Nick's legacy with Elvis, though, and I think, like, that's been something that's really been special and will, I think, continue to get special, even more special, because he's, like, in getting older, he's asking more and more questions every
Sure.
day.
I'm sure. And I mean, thank God for social media during that time because
Yeah.
look at what you created.
I
Look at
know,
that
thank God.
energy, like, and then you have that now as part of his legacy for your son.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was just like the weirdest time in our lives. I mean, again, if I tried to do that now, it would never work. You know what I mean? Everyone's busy at 3 p.m., but but it wasn't the case. We were lucky that no one had anything to do, so everybody was just invested in
I don't
humanity.
agree with that, Amanda. You had something really magical. Your energy and your joy and your
Um,
positivity going through something so challenging and kind of realizing that the energy and the power of community, how powerful it is. And I
Yeah.
do think that even today, your your energy and your spirit and everything that you gave everyone would stand true. I do believe that.
Well, thank you.
I do,
Thank
of course. And
you.
joy is a choice that we make every single day and it looks like you make that choice daily. What are practices that help you choose joy even on the days it feels out of reach?
I would say, like, I'm a religious person. I have a very strong faith in God. Um, I love going to church on Sundays. Elvis and I pray every night. Again, just even, you know, just being thankful for everything that I have, and that every how we get to live our lives and our health, and all that stuff. And
Mm,
again, just the positive thoughts. And um, I love even just, I know this sounds silly, but, like, just the sunshine, you know what I mean? Like, I
mhm,
love living in California just because it's usually sunny every day, and then that makes me happy and more motivated to,
mhm.
like, get out of my house. So, I think, just finding all those little things, and it's not easy. I'm not saying it is. And there's days where I can't, even though it's sunny and I know I'm healthy and I am, really blessed, I still don't want to admit what I know is true. But, that's when you have to double down, I guess.
I like to call those glimmers. They're like opposite of triggers, little moments throughout the day that spark joy.
Yeah.
I love
Seriously.
it. And I
Yeah.
love I love how strong your faith is, and I think was there a part in your book where you talked was there a Reiki healer that came into your life?
Oh, I've had so many. Yeah, I've done Reiki a lot. I've done it in person. I've done it over Zooms. I've done
Mhm.
it, yeah, a lot.
So
Yeah.
I'm Jewish and very traditional, and during my, recovery from cancer, I became a Reiki master
Oh,
because
wow.
my sister actually gifted me a couple sessions of Reiki really, really early on in my recovery, and I was like, "What is this?" Like, "I need to
Um,
give back." Like, this sense of calm and healing is just unbelievable. So I understand like the
wow.
different yeah. So what does faith mean to you now? Not just spiritually, but your faith in life and other people in the future?
I don't think that it's changed. I think I've always been a person that believes in things very easily and quickly.
Mm,
And like for people, I probably have too much faith and trust in people. So like until you prove me wrong, I'll pretty much
mhm,
be your cheerleader for a
mhm,
very, very long time. Um, and I'm a pretty loyal person as well to that count. But yeah, I don't think my faith has really changed. I'm very
mhm,
grateful for my mom and dad. They raised 5 kids
mhm,
in, a very strong faith, and also a faith in family and a faith in friendships. And
mhm.
um I think that that is such a beautiful thing to
Yeah.
still have. Faith and love and trust, it's like kind of all in a big ball for me. But I love putting my belief in something bigger than me. I just think
Mhm,
that it takes the pressure off of you. Like
mhm,
I remember saying that, like, when Nick was sick, and I would I was praying harder and deeper than I ever have in my entire life, and I just remember being like, I don't know what people do that don't have faith in this circumstance, because I am like,
mhm,
I couldn't carry all of it on my own. Like the fact that I could give it to God and believe that God was going to help me and help us and help my family and help Nick's family
mhm,
was like such a gift. Like I don't know what I would have done without that ability. So very, very
mhm.
grateful.
Absolutely. Since you dealt with your grief so publicly, you also became a beacon for others navigating the same. Did you expect that part of your journey? And how do you hold space for others while also protecting your own heart?
Yeah. I did not expect that. And still to this day, yesterday alone, I got 2 people that reached out to me for grief and help and advice. It happens all the time. And I love to pay it forward. I'm I think I've learned so much from grief, and it continues to teach me so much,
Mhm,
that I just think that it's important to share.
mhm,
And I think, some people can't talk about grief, and I can. So and it helps me to talk about it. So even when it's hard for me, or even when someone's grief is
mhm,
a lot, which has also happened, where I've been like, this is a lot to
mhm,
go meet with this person. It's going to be heavy. I'm going to feel heavy for the rest of the day. Um, I know how helpful it was for me when I was going through it. So especially in the beginning. Um, so it's like a pay it forward attitude. And I think anyone that goes through like immense grief like this, uh, even if you can't talk about it publicly, you become a different person to a friend or to anyone that you meet that has gone through this, sort of like divorce. I remember once I went through my divorce and I met somebody that was divorced. I was like, "Oh, you're divorced too? Oh my
Mhm.
God, can we talk?" Because it was like, you know what it's like. And I think that's what it's been for me. Like, oh, you know this pain? I
Mm.
want to help you, or I want to talk to you, or let's be friends. Um, it's actually like a saving grace, my little my grief community.
Yeah, absolutely. I have that with my breast cancer survivor
Of
sisters. I have
course.
the same, and that's how I met Elise. We were going through it at very similar times in our
Wow.
lives and figuring out how to talk to our children about it. And so we go on our like at least once a month walks where it's like without someone like Elise, I would
Yeah.
have a little bit of an emptiness. So I totally
Yeah.
understand that. I'd love to dig into your morning routine. So in Never Miss a Monday, we talk a lot about non-negotiables. For me, it's movement, any kind of movement, eating really healthily, daily meditation. The list goes on and on. What are your current non-negotiables?
Um, my morning is pretty much the same, unless it's a weekend, but it's wake up, coffee,
Mhm.
start press coffee. But then I have, before I drink coffee, I have like a lot of things that I do, lemon water and you know, vitamins and stuff. And then coffee for sure. But then it's, a little bonding time with Elvis. Like we'll sit on the couch and we'll watch I'll watch whatever he's watching with him,
Mhm.
snuggle up a little bit. We try to have a little morning cuddle before he goes off to school. Um, if I have time, I love walking him down to school. His school's down the street, so it's a nice time to just kind of walk and connect with him, which I love. Yeah, and then I would say once he's in school, I try to get my workout in and done with because I'm a morning workout girl. I love just working out, getting it done, and then coming
Mhm.
home and eat breakfast. So I would just say,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely non-negotiables are coffee, workout, time with Elvis, and then I can pretty much get on with my day.
Absolutely. Agreed. Um, you've experienced how one moment, one week, or one Monday can change everything. Can you share a story of one Monday that just shifted everything for you? Any fresh start doesn't necessarily have to be a Monday.
Yeah. Well, I'll say I will relate it to Mondays because, and you'll love this because you're a dancer.
Mhm.
I was going through a time in my grief where I really was like, I felt like I had lost a lot of my femininity.
Mhm.
Um, I think being, a single mom and, I wasn't dating anyone, so I didn't have like that male energy in my life, which I missed from, being married. And Nick was a very like um touchy-feely, huggy, kissy kind of guy. And so um and being a single mom of a son, I am the hockey mom, I'm the soccer mom,
Mhm.
I'm I'm very like I've had to take on very masculine roles. So I was just going through a time in my grief where I like really didn't feel feminine, and I missed that. And so my girlfriend had been taking dance classes on Mondays and
Mhm.
she posted about them, and I was like, I'm going to go to this dance class. Now I hadn't gone to a dance class since ballet class in New York City, so I mean it'd been a while. And to be honest, I never really enjoyed dance class. I don't know why, which doesn't make sense because I love dancing. But I think it was just like when I find the right one, and I just didn't ever really find one I liked unless that ballet class I loved and I was religious to go to that. But
Mhm.
anyways, hadn't been in a while. And the class is on Mondays and it's a heels class. So in LA, this is not something that's ever in New York either. This is very much LA. You put on your heels and you sexy dance to songs. And I had never gone to a class like this, but she had been posting these videos and it looked fun and I love her. And so I was like, I'm just gonna go. And it was January too. So like start of the new year. And I loved it. Oh my God. I had so much fun. It was this hour dance class, and the teacher is the cutest human being in the entire world. And she's so powerful and encouraging, and everyone in the class is so inspiring. No one's a dancer. It's all these girls that just love to move. And for me, it was I was standing in front of a mirror having to love myself again, having to feel
Wow.
sexy again, having to feel feminine again. And it was so liberating, so much so that I never missed a Monday for about 2 years, like, and I'm
Wow.
going tonight.
Wow.
It's my therapy, it's my Monday night therapy, it's my time for myself, it's the hour I give to myself to feel feminine, to be in a group and a class with majority is women,
Mhm.
all cheering each other on, all dancing, and just having a blast, and it takes me out of my shell, and it's
Mm.
exactly what I needed. It was such a great restart for me. And, it was just, again, something that now I do every Monday and it makes me so happy. But it definitely was like a huge leap, a huge, like, okay, I'm just going to pop into this dance class on Melrose and bring my Broadway heels, which are not very acceptable for this class, but I made them work until I graduated to real heels. Anyways, but it's lots of fun.
Thank you for sharing that with me because I've been invited to a heels class from a friend of mine and I have not gone because I'm afraid. I haven't taken class in forever too. So now I'm just going to do it. I'm going to rip
Yeah.
the band-aid off and
Yes.
just do it.
It's funny, I think as dancers, we are like, "Oh god, I haven't danced in so long." And then you're in a dance class and you're like, "Oh yeah, but I know how to dance. I'm coordinated. I know how to remember choreography. This is like something I love to do actually. Like nothing makes me feel better than dancing." So
Yeah.
like it's so funny how you can count yourself out because you're like, "I haven't taken a dance class in so long, I'll be
Yeah.
so bad." And you're like, "Who cares?"
Who
Like, I
cares?
still like, I'm like, "I'm 43 now, I don't need to be the best in the class. I don't need to be in the front row. I don't need the teacher to like me. I'm not trying to get a job, I'm just there for
Mhm.
myself." You know what I mean? And it takes all the pressure off. So, yes, go, because it's not like when we were 20 vying for a job or the teacher's attention or trying to be the best in
Yeah.
the class or the cutest dressed. Like, no, you know what I mean? You're just there for fun. You're just there for yourself.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's gonna get me off my tush into class for sure. I love it. If you could leave our listeners with one mantra to carry into this week, what would it be, Amanda?
Oh, my favorite mantra that I've used forever since starting my fitness company is make yourself as big as you can.
Mhm.
And that's like just in every aspect, like your thoughts, your works, your deeds, your everything. Just walk into a room, don't make
Mhm.
yourself small, make yourself big.
Perfect. I love that. I love that. Where can everyone, find you and support you?
Mostly Instagram. I'm on other platforms, but I never use them. So
I hear
just
that.
Instagram, at Amanda Kloots.
Amazing. Well, Amanda, thank you so much for reminding all of us that even in grief, we can move. Even in chaos, we can show up. And even in the darkest moments, we can still live our life fully, honestly, and beautifully. You truly embody everything that it means to never miss a Monday. And I couldn't be more honored that you shared your time and your space and your energy with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Amanda.